Allowed 155 to the Chargers. This one downfield. Beckham got him. Touchdown, Browns. One heck of a throw right there by Baker Mayfield. He rolls out to his left, and to be able to set his feet, the double move on the outside creates the separation, and he's by him by 4 steps. And now it's a matter of whether or not Baker can load up and get it out there far enough before the catch-up, and that's
All right, guys. Welcome to Sports Life. It's Ryan. That play there was Baker finding Odell Beckham last night. He actually looked like he was playing a Stefanski offense really well. He was out on the boot. They got the running game going. They rushed for over 200 yards between Chubb and Hunt. They actually looked like they knew how to play football. Defense is still a little shaky, but other than that, it's not too bad. I believe that maybe that was a good thing. Maybe they needed that win. Well, they obviously needed that win because last week they got torched by the Ravens. It wasn't even close. So, but like I said, they did run the ball. They actually got on some boots. They got some play action going. A lot better. They ended up beating the Bengals 35-30. Now the story really wasn't so much the Browns winning, but so much as Joe Burrow. He threw it for 61 times last night. Didn't look terrible throwing the ball. He has no O-line. He still made it an interesting game. Like I said, the final score was 35-30. So I think Burrow is going to be a promising quarterback. I didn't give him much credit in the beginning of the season, but I actually believe that he's finding the right guys. He's trying to get together with his guys. He hasn't given me a preseason game yet or anything. He's in his second game of his career and nothing to show for it better than, just going out there and playing football. He knows when to run the ball. I feel like he's going to be scrambling a lot this year because his O-line is bad. So if they can find a way to keep him healthy, it's going to be good for them. They're going to have a very successful future. All right, so I haven't talked about the NFL very much because we haven't had very much NFL. But last week, it kicked off, and there was a lot of great action that went happen. I believe that Arizona is definitely going to be a playoff team. Them knocking out the 49ers last week was very impressive. Kyler Murray, that guy he's on a whole new level. Him and Lamar Jackson might be the two best running quarterbacks in the league. He was finding, Larry Fitzgerald still, DeAndre Hopkins, and he was still running the ball himself. 49ers, they have a great defense, and Kyler torched them. So that's good for him. That's a good start. Big Ben returning from elbow surgery. He came back and looked pretty good against the Giants. Threw for 2 touchdowns, or I think it was 3 touchdowns, I'm sorry. And 2 to Juju, which that's good. They needed that quarterback back because they were disastrous last year watching that offense. So Big Ben being back, helping the Steelers look pretty good in their win. Now, the game that was supposed to be the game of the week last week, right? You got 2 40-year-old Hall of Fame, number 1 versus number 2, statistically, all-time quarterbacks. And it was obviously Brady and Breeze. Breeze, yes, he's looking older. His arm's not quite as good, but he's still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Brady, on the other hand, he's going to be the top quarterback in the league for throwing touchdowns. Now, whether that is to his team or the other team, that's a whole different story. From what I saw last week, there is nothing different between Tom Brady and Jameis Winston in that offense. And yes, I just compared those two. I believe that Tom Brady is good for throwing interceptions. He threw 2 of them last week. One of them was a pick six. So he is the GOAT, but he is not the GOAT for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That might change. That really might. They've got a decent matchup against the Panthers this week, where the Panthers lost last week and gave up 34 points to the Vegas Raiders. So, I don't know. Brady is an amazing quarterback. I just don't think that either something's going on with the Bucs receivers or something happens with that O-line. I'm not sure what is going on, but the Bucs, they're a great offense. But they are also their worst own offense because they turn the ball over so much. All right. On that other side, the Saints. Man, Drew Brees still looking like Drew Brees. That defense is actually pretty good. His arm is a little dead, but, he's got a running game now. He's got Michael Thomas who can make any catch that he needs. Watch out for them. Who dat for sure? Because the Saints are there. The NFC is going to be crazy as it is, and Saints, Seahawks, and Packers kind of all stood out to me the most last week. Man, if I had to go between those three, I still think the Saints would win. So, all right. How about them Lions? They literally found a way to lose to a garbage Mitchell Trubisky and a garbage Bears team. They were up big. Trubisky ended up throwing for 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But Matthew Stafford had him there. He had a chance. They were going to win until this happened.
Won't get it done. 11 seconds to go. Stafford downfield, and his pass is dropped by Swift. He was in the end zone. The rookie linebacker, or the rookie running back, DeAndre Swift.
And it was a simple option route that he then turns up. Matthew Stafford catches Danny Trevathan with his back turn. That should have been an easy touchdown.
And then you just saw DeMarcus Robinson.
So, DeAndre Swift dropped that ball. Could have been the game-winning touchdown for his first game ever in the NFL. And he didn't catch it. He was so excited, he forgot to secure the ball. Looked upfield, was signing autographs, but forgot the number one thing. Catch the football. And so that is how the Lions lost last week. So, there's a team in the NFC East, the only team who won last week, and I have been giving them a hard time this entire time. That is the Washington football team. They found a way to beat Philly. They are the only team in that division who won. Of course, the Cowboys lost to the Rams. And Jared Goff made Jared Goff look really good last week. It's insane that the Washington football team won and nobody else in that division did. So they are winning that division, and they don't look very good either. Ron Rivera found a way to give him the W. I still don't believe Dwayne Haskins is a great NFL quarterback. I think that there is a lot better potential out there. So, congrats to Washington. Well, let's finish the season strong there. Let's see if they can keep it going. I don't believe it'll happen, but we can see. So on that Cowboys note, they got to go up against Matty Ice this week. That dude dropped 450 yards last week and lost to the Seahawks. Him and Russell Wilson went in a good QB duel. Matt Ryan was dropping passes everywhere. Ridley, Julio Jones, you name it. They were catching the ball. 450 yards, and he lost. Now, I just said the Cowboys made Jared Goff look good. That is who the Cowboys are playing this week, is Matty Ice. They are playing the Falcons. I expect Matt Ryan to throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns against that defense. Cowboys defense is horrible. And their offense isn't that great. So I expect the Falcons to win. And that is going to be my upset pick this week. I take the Falcons over the Cowboys. And I'll even give you a score. I'm going to say 42 to 31. 42-31, Falcons over the Cowboys. That is my projection. So, with that being said, speaking of duels, so last week, the Vikings and the Packers kind of went in for a duel. And Cousins had a decent game. He wasn't, terrible. But Aaron Rodgers, that dude came out and balled out. He had like 323 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he looks like classic Aaron Rodgers. That guy came out. They ended up winning 43-34. And watch out for the Packers. Those guys are there to play. They've got receiving now. Devontae Adams is a beast. You got Lazard making catches. They are there to play. So watch out for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Here's the problem they're going to have, though. They're going to have to play defense eventually. The best teams have to play defense eventually. And the 34 points to a Vikings team, they lost to Stephon Diggs. They still got Dalvin Cook. They still got Adam Thielen. But, man, I don't know. Still, watch out for Rodgers. Here he comes. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs last week, they dismantled Houston, honestly. It got close at the end, or closer, I should say. I wouldn't say it was close, ever. But they get to go up against the Chargers team, who actually, they have a pretty solid defense. And they only gave up, 13 points last week to the Bengals. The Bengals who just dropped 30 points against the Browns last night. So the Chargers have a good defense. I think it'll be Mahomes' kind of first test. I do think they'll still come out on top. I believe that probably a 10-point game. But watch out for them Chargers. If they can figure out their offense, maybe not play Tyrod, maybe play Justin Herbert, maybe the Chargers are the team to watch out from that division. I don't think so, but obviously, the Chiefs are still the best team there, but Chargers could make a run for second in the AFC West. So, although now that I'm saying that, the Raiders looked pretty good against the Panthers last week. I mean, they found a way to come back. They were down pretty big, found a way offensively to get it going, and so the Raiders are still very much the Raiders of Las Vegas, not Oakland, very much in that division as well. Now, there is one guy out there who I feel kind of bad for because he is a very talented quarterback, but he doesn't have a receiver that is good enough to keep him winning. So that is Deshaun Watson. If he doesn't have a receiver step up this week, and he's going to be in a deep hole 0-2, and Tennessee will be the team that will just destroy that division. Tennessee and Jacksonville both found ways to win their games last week. Obviously, Houston and Indy did not. So, Deshaun Watson, he can't do it all. You're going to have a receiver step up. It's going to have to be someone that says, hey, look, I want to be that guy. Give me the ball. Whereas Kenny Stills or Will Fuller or whoever, someone's going to have to step up. I'm sorry, Houston. You're a great story, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now, that Houston team, David Johnson did have a good week. He looked like a good running back for them, but it's a passing league. So, if you can't throw the ball, it's going to be a long season for you. All right, so I'm going to preview some of the games upcoming. One of the games I would say to kind of look out for is probably that Jacksonville-Tennessee game I was just talking about. You got both teams winning last week. You've got Tennessee obviously runs the ball very well. You got Jacksonville, Gardner Minshew, who just found a way to win last week. So that's a good divisional game. Another one to look out for, I already mentioned it as well, Atlanta and Dallas. I think it's going to be high scoring. Atlanta is my upset pick. I believe Dallas is a 4-point favorite. Dallas is a 4-point favorite, yes. So I will take the Dirty Birds easily over the Cowboys. And I think the Cowboys start their season 0-2. All right, so another game that you might want to look out for. Detroit, Green Bay. Good little matchup there. Detroit, like I showed you guys that drop by DeAndre Swift. They should have had that game. They should be 1-0, not the Bears. A team of 1-0 teams, Washington, Arizona. That's going to be a pretty good matchup for Kyler Murray to run all over that defense and prove that Washington is pretty bad. Now, the game I would actually if being a football fan, I would look out for New England and Seattle. See if Cam Newton can actually go out. See if he can actually, play against a good team. See if he can beat a good team. I think Seattle's going to win that one. I think it'll be pretty big. But that's the night game, the Sunday night game. So it should be a good game to watch. All right. So we do have some college football we got to talk about now. I know I just spent a lot of time on the NFL. It was a big week. So I'll just start with the Oklahoma State versus Tulsa preview. I think OSU is going to demolish Tulsa. That starts tomorrow at 11. I think that's going to be a pretty good opener for them. They'll probably get to see if this defense really is as great as they say. But really and truly, both teams, they've had some struggles with the coronavirus. So it's a good first game for both teams. It's a good game for the state of Oklahoma. Anytime there's an in-state game, it's always a good game. So I'm disappointed to say the BYU Army game got postponed. That would have been a fun matchup. BYU demolished Navy last week. So, Army's clearly the better of the group now. You got Louisiana joining in the rankings because of their win against Iowa State last week. And really, truly, they wanted that game more. Got a lot of decent games. I wouldn't say they're great. Central Florida, Georgia Tech might be a good game. Miami, Louisville, that might be a decent game. That's probably the game of the week. Number 17 versus number 18, two ACC teams going at it. De'Aaron King, I still don't think he's that great of a quarterback. I think Louisville handles that one pretty soundly. But, yeah, there's not a lot yet going on in college football. But there is something that happened last week. One, the Big 12 looked like probably the worst conference of all time. You had Kansas losing to Coastal Carolina, Kansas State losing to Central Arkansas, Iowa State losing to Louisiana, and Texas Tech almost lost to Houston Baptist. 3 of those 4 teams are from the Sun Belt, so the Big 12 struggled against the Sun Belt. And that is not a good look. I know these teams, Iowa State was supposed to be really good. Kansas State was supposed to be decent. But I know these teams aren't that great in the Big 12, but you cannot be losing to these teams right now and expect to have a good conference. It's just not how it is, and it's not a good look. If you're trying to prove yourself, be better, it's not a good look. Just you got to go out there and win those games. You pay these teams to come in and play, you better go out there and beat them and smash them and play. Hit them right in the mouth. That's how my coaches always would say. Hit them in the mouth, and you better win those games. They did not. Texas Tech did, barely over Houston Baptist. It's going to be a long season for the Big 12. Now, there's a couple quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler, Sam Ehlinger, who had really good weeks last week. Spencer Rattler's debut for Oklahoma had 4 touchdowns and only missed 3 passes. And he was launching 50-yard bombs down the field. So that's a good thing for the University of Oklahoma. Obviously, that's my team. Texas, you've got Sam Ehlinger, who he looked pretty good. We'll see what happens when he is conference play, but he is still there, guys. There's been a lot of talk about him already going to the NFL. He's not the greatest quarterback, but he finds ways to win. So, the Big 12, though, it is a disaster right now. We finally get to see how Oklahoma State gets to play tomorrow. We get to see, we don't even get to see Baylor yet because they're having a lot of issues with the virus. So, but here's the thing. Yes, it's early. Yes, most of these guys haven't had a good preseason, offseason kind of role because they've just been, probably didn't take care of themselves, stuff like that. If you're a big-time program, I don't care if it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever, you gotta be smart, take care of yourself, and get ready to play the game. These little schools, they're here to play. They aren't just there for that paycheck. They want to play. So, it's bad news for the Big 12. Good news for the little schools. So, while we're on college, the Big Ten decided that they were going to play, I believe it was October 24th. They're going to play an 8-game season. And they expect to be in the playoffs when everybody else is playing 10 games. I don't feel like that's kind of fair, but at the same time, it's not terrible because you've got teams that are playing small school, like one non-conference game. And the only team that actually helps would be Ohio State. Here's the deal. They're going to have to go undefeated if they want a chance. The Big Ten, it really shows how weak they really are too. They should have just decided, hey, we're going to try to play football as well. Because once everybody else, the Big 12, the ACC, the SEC, all decided they were playing, the Big Ten should have been like, okay, yeah, maybe we'll switch our decision and we'll play. Because the backlash they got, the lawsuits they're getting, everything that happened shows that the Big Ten made the wrong decision. Everybody is aware of the virus, but you've got to be able to go out there and make a difference. And that's what the commissioner of the Big Ten tried to do. He tried to say, okay, yeah, we'll just won't play, and then everybody will follow us. We want to be the big dogs. And yeah, the Pac-12 followed. But if you look at the last 50 years, the Big Ten has only won 3 championships. So, therefore, you really aren't the big dog. Now, the Pac-12, they're looking to play as well. And I don't like the decision. If you weren't going to play, don't play. You should have just let the kids go somewhere else, let them go play somewhere else. You should have never made that decision. Because now we're going to have such a debate when it comes to the playoffs that if an 8-0 Ohio State team should get in over a 9-1 Alabama team, then I'm sorry, but I'm taking Alabama every single time. They play in a much tougher conference, and they are just better. So, sorry, that is my opinion. I believe that the Big Ten should have just played football from the beginning. All right, we're about to head to some NBA talk. I got to play something for you guys. That was probably the most impressive block I have seen in quite a while. So give me 1 second. Let me pull this up here.
Joined by Tatum, Crowder, Adebayo, Iguodala in the ballgame for Miami defensively. Butler and Derek Jones back in defensively. Tatum out front. Hawk at 7. Working against Butler. Got downhill. Couldn't punch it. Bam says, get it out of here. Adebayo. Sky high with the block and rejection. That's why he's NBA All-Defensive Team. Bam Adebayo went airborne with Jason Tatum, and Adebayo won. Wow. A meeting at the Summit, Doris.
That is a ridiculous defensive play. Jason Tatum is clearly by everybody else, high above the rim. Looks like it's going to be an...
Alright, so that happened, which led the Heat to go on to win Game 1 in overtime. So, I don't know how you go about saying that. That was the cleanest block I've ever seen in my life. He went straight at the rim. Tatum was going to dunk on him. And Adebayo literally puts 2 fingers on the ball and says, "Nah, And he was 2 fingers away, or 2 inches away from fouling Tatum. So, I mean, good God, that was an amazing block. Great play. There's a reason why he is a defensive presence. And then last night, you turn around, Boston had a 17-point lead. And they lost again. Miami is just finding ways to win. They're up 2-0 now. Boston is running into a lot of problems. Kemba Walker is got to show up. He hasn't yet. They cannot afford to, slack off in the second half. And I'm sorry, but they should have just watched the Clippers. The Clippers did that 2 games, and now look where they're at. They're not even playing anymore. They're at home. So you've got to be a little bit more under control when it comes to keeping a lead. Yes, it's bad. It's NBA. It's basketball. Teams are going to fight back. That's human nature. We don't like to quit. We want to fight, okay? You cannot allow a team to come back like that. And now you're in a 2-0 hole. I'm sorry, but Miami looks like the best team in basketball right now. And Jimmy Butler is just playing cool and calm and collective, straight beast mode basketball. Adebayo making plays like that. You've got, Goran Dragic is 34, and he's still out there balling, Harrell looks good. He doesn't even look like a rookie. You got Jay Crowder, who can play a good 2-man game with Adebayo. It's just they've got a good team going. And so you've got to figure it out. If you're the Boston Celtics, you're going to have to learn to play some defense. That's for sure. Game 3 tomorrow. That's going to be a good game. I think the Celtics will kind of figure it out a little bit, but man, Miami's 10-1 in the playoffs right now. You'd think that the Lakers being 8-2 currently is crazy, but the Miami Heat 10-1. So, on that Lakers game, they've got to go up and play the Nuggets. The Nuggets, who were down 16 in Game 5, down 19 in Game 6, just torched the Clippers in Game 7. It wasn't close. The Clippers gave up. They lost. They got smacked in the mouth. They got beat by a team that was clearly better than them. Jokic is playing at such a high level right now that they are doing phenomenal things. Jamal Murray is playing at a great level. If this team has anything going against them, they will thrive in that moment. They do not let go when the going gets tough. The Denver Nuggets are my pick to win the West now. If the Lakers even so much think about giving, a huge lead up once, they are in trouble. Because the Denver Nuggets will take care of the basketball, and they will find a way to come back and win if you give that up. The Lakers are the better team. But the Nuggets are not a quitting team. They will go out there. They will find a way. Jokic gets double teamed and he finds an open guy behind the back passes. You cannot let the Nuggets have any momentum going into this game. Game 1 today. Yes, I know the Lakers, you've got LeBron, you've got Anthony Davis, but I'm sorry to say I am taking the Nuggets. That is a great story, and I would love to see it continue. So, I believe we actually have some college hoops talk while we're still on the basketball talk. I believe that college hoops actually announced they are still going to have a season. And I believe it'll start November 25th. So, we do get college hoops. We should get some March Madness, that means. I'm excited because that means I should probably get some softball this year. I love watching my women's softball. They're such fun. And it's a good thing. You know, hoops doesn't make nearly as much money as football, and it's not nearly as interesting to watch at first until around March. But good God, once March comes around, you get some of the craziest games, you get some of the craziest upsets, and that's where basketball is a lot of fun. So November 25th, we get some college hoops. I don't think they're going to allow any fans in the stadiums or anything like that, but hey, you know what? We're getting sports right now, guys. That's the best thing that we can have. All right, so I gotta talk about golf. Of all things, golf. So the U.S. Open's going on, and well, yesterday Justin Thomas had a great game. Patrick Reed hit a hole-in-one, I think, on the 7th. He's actually the leader right now. Justin Thomas being number 2 with DeChambeau at number 2 with him. So it's been an interesting course. It's a beautiful course out there, but it is out in Wingfoot Golf Course out in New York there. It's a beautiful course. Those fairways are tough. They are hard to hit on the fairway, and you're seeing a lot of people struggle with that, including Tiger. Tiger usually is pretty good at driving fairways, and he's hitting it from the rough quite a bit, and it's crazy how many bunker shots we're seeing. So it's good tournament going on for sure. Supposedly that's like the 3rd toughest course in the U.S. No one likes playing there. They all think it's hard, and it's showing. I mean, -5 is really not that impressive. Or I'm sorry, -4 is not that impressive. And he's only through 7 today, so that could all change too. Okay, so would you believe that for the Ryder Cup that Tiger Woods still has a chance to get there? He's 13th in the point standing for that, which is kind of crazy to me. That he's still alive, he's still very much alive in that, and still has a chance. Let's see, where is he sitting right now? Tiger, he had a very bad day yesterday. And he finished at +3, ended the day on a double bogey. And right now he is +4. So he's through 6, +4 right now. Yeah, I feel bad for Tiger. I wish he'd come back to be the golfer he was. But right now it looks like it's going to be Justin Thomas that is that golfer who can run away with games and run away with courses. I mean, he's still second right now. He's looking for his second straight major plus U.S. Open. So he's starting to look like the new Tiger Woods. He's starting to come alive. All right. So want to move over to baseball. So I've been talking about the Padres quite a bit here recently. And man, oh man, they are on fire right now. The Dodgers are only like a game and a half ahead of them now. And I honestly believe the Padres might try to take that division. I can't believe I just said that. But yes, the Padres are trying to take that division. Now, the Dodgers, the White Sox, and the Rays have all clinched their clinched a playoff spot. They haven't clinched their divisions yet. There's a lot of good baseball going on, and there's a lot of good teams out there. It is crazy to think that they're already clinching playoff spots, though. It feels really early. Yeah, I know they're only playing a 60-game season, but they're 50 games into the season, so it's really, really insane. And what's going on in baseball is already happening. You've got, the Rays leading that division by 3.5 games over the Yankees. You got the White Sox in the AL Central, 3 games over the Twins. You got the A's, the Athletics, 6 games over the Astros. The Braves are still hanging on to a lead over the Marlins by 3 games. The Cubs are still beating the Reds now, 5.5 games. The Cubs will probably take that division. The NL Central is kind of a joke right now. The Dodgers and Padres. It's 4 games now. They dropped a couple. But, man, I'm telling you right now, the Padres are the team to beat. They are crazy good. So, lots of home runs, lots of hits from them. A lot of fun. Alright, so I told you my upset pick already. I am taking the Falcons, who are 4-point underdogs against the Cowboys. I'm taking the Falcons. I'm taking them to win by 10. So, or what did I say? I think 42-31. So 11. We'll make it 11. Alright, guys. I got to show you one more video. It is one of my favorite plays that's happened here recently. While I'm pulling this up, don't forget to check out my friend Rita. Her YouTube channel is Beautiful Eats with a Z. She is very creative, very talented. She makes food. And who doesn't like food? So go check her out. Also, if you could check out my mom, Christina Dawn Pollard Winkleman. Her Etsy account. She makes all these crazy, beautiful wreaths that a lot of people like to check out. Check her out. That is on Etsy. So, Christina Dawn Pollard Winkleman. Check her out. And let me play this final video for you guys. That'll be my sports talk for the day.
To lose, David Jackson and Steve Brown, the App State radio guys, have got the call.
Ready. That's good. The whole the kick! Oh! The kick is the Mountaineers are going to try to take it to the big house. To the big house. 20, 50. The Mountaineers have just beat the Michigan Wolverines.
Remember this day, men, for it will be yours for all time. Jerry Moore gets a ride off the field. What a win.
Alright, guys. That was obviously Appalachian State beating Michigan in what was a crazy game in 2007. Going to the big house, knocking off the Wolverines. That's my show today, guys. I'm Ryan. This is Sports Life. Appreciate you guys listening. And have a wonderful day. See you next week.